Today we've got Hitman Marrakesh, Professional Mode, and we're taking down Razor Zaydan and Klaus Hugo Strandberg. For this I've brought along remote breach charges and I've brought a lockpick with me. That's all I needed, and for the pistol I bought the Krugermeyer just because it's the quietest pistol out of the lot. Like my previous Professional Mode runs, I wanted to do accident kills for both targets. However, I didn't just want to do accident kills, I wanted to do the same type of kill for both targets. So in this instance, I add both Zaydan and Strandberg falling for their kills. Now with Strandberg that was a very simple kill, as you'll see, but with Zaydan it was a little bit more tricky to do. So first things first, I shoot that motorcycle or scooter just to lure them two away, and I can step inside the school grounds. There's a guard around the corner and he is a right little swine. Every time you do this technique he is always on the lookout, so you have to be really clever in how to manoeuvre past him. It took me a while to complete this strategy purely because of this one guard, because he is so difficult to actually find a good way past every time. So what I have eventually found is that if you start the mission as quick as possible, you can get past him faster. Whereas if you have a smuggle point item, for example, putting a lockpick somewhere and picking it up, it just slows everything down and makes that guard even harder to get past. So I decided leave me smuggles and just go straight into the school, and it did work out well. So right now I'm just waiting for this guard to move closer to me so I can subdue him. The main problem that Marrakesh brings up on Professional Mode is that it is much harder to get past the guards, whether it's in the school area or in the consulate, purely because they've increased the numbers, and therefore it just means you have to take your time actually manoeuvring past specific patrol patterns such as this. Now that isn't to say that I don't enjoy the challenge or that I don't like the idea of having to work my way past more guards. It is just a problem when you're trying to create a nice small video. As I can see, the runtime isn't going to be good, but there's nothing you can do because you do need to get past both sets of guards in both areas, and it is tricky to do it in a quick way. I mean, if I had compromised, for example, on one of the targets, Strandberg or Zaydan, and decided to kill them in a different way, then yeah, I could have got this video much shorter and I'd say a 9-minute runtime, but by doing that I'd be compromising the idea I had initially to make the video a bit different to what else is out there. So I'm past these two guards and they aren't that difficult to manoeuvre past, and we're going to have another set just inside the school grounds. We have one that looks out of a window, and we have one that's standing by the microphone that we need to activate. Neither of them are a major problem, but it is just added complications that ideally you don't want. Again, it's Professional Mode, so you've got to expect difficulty like that, but ideally you would just like to be able to move straight for the microphone and turn it on. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do, turn it on, and that way Zaydan will head to the bathroom where we want him. I'm going to pick up this pool ball and I'm going to pick up the toy tank. Both are going to be distractions so that I can get Zaydan deeper into the bathroom. Now I am curious what other Hitman players think about this issue I'm about to bring up. When Zaydan comes into the room, I'm going to throw the pool ball across the room and that will distract him further across. That means I can throw the toy tank at his head and that can set up the kill. Now the issue that I'm curious about people's opinions on is unconscious witness. Now, it's a term that can be a bit mixed. Sometimes it can mean that the NPC has seen you and that it will affect your score, and sometimes it means they haven't seen you. Now, in this instance, because I did check my score at the end, it is Silent Assassin. It does mean that he didn't see me, but wouldn't it be better if the game did give you a more technical term for it so that you weren't hedging your bets towards the end that you weren't spotted? Because the difficulty is, in that small gap between throwing the toy tank, it could say crimes noticed and I wouldn't see it. It's only during recording that I actually realise it didn't come up. It is a small issue, but I don't know about other people who do videos or even just people who play this in general, but I would prefer it if it didn't say unconscious witness when really the person didn't catch 47 that much. Especially when it's not a target. With Zaydan here, he's dead, so he's not alive to witness anything. But for an NPC that you store in a wardrobe or a closet, it is more debatable about what they have actually witnessed. As I said, I would like some opinions on it. Maybe I'm just being overly sensitive on the issue, considering this was the only way I could actually knock out Zidane to throw him out the window. But it is an issue I've seen in other videos where other YouTubers have had to explain unconscious witness means this, and I'm wondering if anyone's got an opinion about what would be a better solution to that phrase or that term. Maybe it could be broken down to two different terms for two different circumstances. Anyway, this guard's going to move in a second, and all I've got to do now is sneak past the remaining two guards. Now, during practice runs of this, they prove to be difficult as well, because in previous runs that other people have done, you were able to just walk slowly past the two of them, and you wouldn't get noticed. However, I kept getting caught trying this, or variations of it, so that's why I brought a breach charge with me. That way I can lure one of them away, and with the cue ball that I picked up as well, I can use that to distract the other so I can get past them. Maybe I didn't try enough techniques. I could have tried shooting something and it could have lured one of them away. To be honest, I think I ran out of patience with these two, so if any of you have got a good idea for getting past them faster, let me know and I'll give it a shot sometime. It's moments like this that stall the old video, to be honest, because we're only in the 6th minute of the gameplay and there's going to be about 19 altogether. So what all this does is slow me down in terms of getting to the consulate, and because I'm slow getting there, I can't get to Strandberg the first time he's on the balcony. It's why speed is important. If I could have got past these two guards faster, I could have got to the consulate faster and it would have made the entire video faster. Unfortunately, some things aren't meant to be, but in the end I suppose it's the beauty of the game that you can try and go as quick as you can, but even when you try, sometimes you might just fall a bit short and have to work your way around it. So, normal strategy for getting into the consulate, we're going to bump into these two guys just to interrupt their conversation. They'll give me a dirty look for a few minutes, and once they decide to turn around and walk away, I'll shoot the camera. Another small problem is that the consulate guard, who sometimes has a smoke, at this point he's looking directly at me. So even though I can shoot the camera, I know that by shooting the camera, he'll go and investigate the camera, which in turn means that he'll go back to standing and looking in this direction. All these things just slow things down. In hindsight, maybe I could have knocked him out just to try and speed the whole thing up, but there is a thing where if you are trying to do a silent assassin run, it isn't good to knock NPCs out who don't really need to be knocked out. This one can be manoeuvred around as you see in here, but you don't want to knock him out if you can avoid it, just in case his body's found, so it's the best thing, just let him wander off and you can sneak in fine. Now, there are two ways to get to the main consulate. You can go through the left side or the right side. Now, I have done the right side a few times in the past and I had bad luck that way, so I've been taking the left for the most time since I've been playing Marrakesh, and to be honest it does work out better. So I take that one camera out as you've seen and I jump across here and go through the room. I also pick up the hammer just because any distraction device is handy, and I get my pistol out. So the best way to get through the consulate I have found is to use the cars to your advantage, not just as cover but also for the car alarms. So I'm quite fortunate at this point, the two guards are in quite good positions. Even though someone was giving me a bit of attention, then I managed to pick up the coin, which I need. And what I could do is I wait for the guard directly ahead to just finish his little patrol there, and as soon as he starts moving this way to the right, I'm going to shoot the white car, and that'll give me a chance to manoeuvre past the guard on the left. It gives you a small enough window of opportunity to get to the consulate entrance door where the key card is, and I bought breach charge, so I'm going to use that to open it up. The one thing you can't forget, which I did a few times in practice runs, is to shoot out the camera above the door. So I kept my pistol out and I took a shot. Therefore, all I've got to do now is breach open the door and we're done. I'll be honest, I feel quite fortunate here that no one came to investigate this, because a breach should cause a bit of attention, but no one investigated, so I'm not complaining. Now, I've got the coin and I'm going to use that to get past the guards here. I could wait until the conversation ended, but as I've explained, the time on the video was long anyway, and even though I didn't know it at the time, I didn't want to have a long video, so the coin just distracts them enough so that I can sneak past them without risking poor Ed turning. A small change now from standard to professional difficulty is that we've got 2 guards on the balcony rather than just the one. We can use the same strategy as before though and turn on the vacuum cleaner to lure one of them inside. Once he's inside, all you have to do is subdue him, same as usual, and that one's okay. What I do find strange though is that the other guard doesn't come in to investigate the Hoover. Now, hang on, I've just remembered there was a funny glitch here where for some reason he didn't want to move, he got trapped in the chairs, I think. Managed to get him in there somehow. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm surprised that the Hoover didn't draw in the other guard. I'm pretty glad he didn't now because that glitch would have really messed things up. But you'd have thought the Hoover would have been like, say, the alarm clocks, where if you don't turn the alarm clock off, they come to investigate the noise. But for some reason, he didn't. I do believe it should have had the same function because having to do something like this with the pistol, you really shouldn't have to do that. It should be just a simple case of leave the Hoover on and he comes in and investigates. Either way though, he comes in, I'm going to hide in the crate just so that he doesn't spot me, and as soon as he's past me, I go and subdue him. From when the guard is in the crate to when Strandberg turns up on the balcony, it takes about 2 minutes. So I'm going to skip them 2 minutes for your benefit, and we're going to just watch the kill of Strandberg. As usual, he turns up in his own time and he just strolls down here. We've got 1 security guard in the booth to the left, and I'm going to try and make sure that he isn't looking, which as we can see is just walking out the room. So now is the best time to push him. So simply approach him. He's not an enforcer, so no need to worry, and push him over. Getting out of the consulate is about as difficult as getting into the consulate, and all the things you do to get in, you have to do to get out. Now, I used a coin to get past this guard and I hadn't got anything but my hammer. As it turns out, I was actually wrong to try this idea because all the hammer does is really put the elite militia guard guy into a bad position. Had I remembered, I would have just walked past him because that would have worked fine, but as it turns out, he goes to investigate the hammer and I can't move past him for a few seconds now because he'll turn around and chances are he would spot me. Like everything with this game, it's just that you need patience at times, and when you're 14 minutes in going on 15 or 16 or however you go and count it, patience can wear thin. So I'm glad I was able to sneak past him without having to use a distraction. It would have been a pain having to find some other form of distraction device upstairs. Anyway, we can sneak down here, no problem, and the guards that we need to bypass both are in relatively good positions to start sneaking past them. The first one is looking this way, which means that very soon he won't be, and all we got to do is manoeuvre past the one that is looking straight ahead at us. So the one on the left, like before, he'll go on his cycle and we'll just be able to shoot the same car as we did before. If there was one thing I could change about how this professional mode has been made more difficult, I would accept the amount of guards that have been introduced, but I think what needs to be altered is the frequency of their patrol pattern. So for example, the guard that is moving around in this sector, I would have it that he moves between sections faster. That way, as 47, you can move between cars much faster as well, rather than having to stand and wait behind a certain one until he moves. It would just make moving a lot quicker and you wouldn't have to stand waiting for a certain guard to patrol to the next section. I respect that he isn't actually in this area for more than 10 seconds, but when you're trying to go quick, 10 seconds can actually be a long time, so I don't know, maybe they could reduce it in future games. I mean, we're talking about Hitman Season 2 really here, but if there is a situation like this in the future, maybe they could reduce waits to 7 seconds, just to make the whole part seem a bit faster. Maybe I'm just being hopeful, but it would just mean the player could move quicker, you wouldn't have to be patient as much. it is fair in some instances, but there are times when you just really want to move, especially at this point. As I say, we're on the 17th minute mark, and you just want to be moving towards the exit rather than standing and waiting for guards to decide to look away. And don't take me wrong, comments like this, they're just constructive criticism. It isn't anything other than me wanting this game to be brilliant, as I only started playing this game in July 2017, I think, and it quickly became one of the best games I've played on the PlayStation now. I respect, again, that a lot of veteran Hitman players will be saying, oh no, you should have played Blood Money or Absolution or anything, but until I can get a console that I can play them on, I haven't got a chance. But I have really enjoyed Hitman 2016, and I want the next game, assuming that we do get a next game, to be even better. And you just look at little moments like that and think, can we improve on it? And in theory, it isn't impossible. You want really slow, methodical players to be able to make their moves well, but you also want the speedrunners to be able to do their moves as well. Anyway, that concludes the gameplay and the video. I'd like to thank you for watching. I'd also, if you could give this video a like, I would really appreciate it, and a subscription would be even better, as you get access to all the videos that I make as soon as I've released them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!